Hi, it's Mary Beth Eisenhard with Long & Foster, and with me today is Susan Surkamp with M&T Mortgage. I've asked Susan to come on this call, this recording, because it's important, I think, in today's coronavirus pandemic to explain a few things to people that I know, that I care about what's going on in the mortgage industry. People have some questions, they have concerns, and I've known Susan for over 12 years. Susan and I are part of the Gainesville Business Connection chapter. We meet once a week. It's part of BNI. BNI stands for Business Network International, and we help people. We refer each other business. We're business partners. We share a lot of information. We refer each other business back and forth every single week. So Susan has helped lots of our clients with mortgages. And Susan, thanks for doing this with me today.
Well, thanks for having me, Mary Beth. I think this is really important what you're putting out there to everyone.
So the first question is, are there new credit score minimums for getting loans?
Great question. So FHA is currently at 580 on the credit score, a 580 credit score. As long as they stay at 580, so far M&T Bank has taken the same step. We follow the FHA guidelines. Conventional loans have pretty much stayed the same, no change there either. But as of today, if FHA stays at 580, M&T Bank is staying at 580. If they raise them, we likely would be required to do the same.
Okay. Is it taking longer to get a loan fully approved during this time?
It really isn't. We have fully staffed processors, underwriters, closers, everybody working remotely for the most part, the loan officers as well. So while everyone is doing their jobs to get things from the beginning to the end, to get them closed on time, in some situations we've been able to move closing dates up a little bit quicker. So as long as the clients are really working hard to provide everything that they need up front, pay stubs, bank statements, W-2s, we're able to follow the same timeline that we have been.
Okay, the next question, is there any additional criteria, information required to obtain a loan now versus maybe the way it was 6 months ago?
So not really. Pay stubs, verification of employments have been a little more difficult to get at the end. It's always been required that 10 days before you close, we get a verification of employment from your employer. In some situations, they haven't been available because they're working remotely as well. So we've gotten pay stubs from the clients that are dated within 10 days of closing, and that's helped facilitate to get things done. So additional criteria, everything is pretty much working the same as it has been.
Okay. And can you explain forbearance? This is the big word nowadays. I mean, there's so much you hear out there, and I think people are really confused. Forbearance, I know, is not the same as forgiveness. So I really think this is something that people need to understand. And I just know it's so important because a lot of people are fearful, and people just really need to get a grasp for what that truly means.
They do. So you're right. Forbearance isn't forgiveness. It doesn't mean it's going to go away. So I looked up the definition just so that people could kind of understand a little bit more, but forbearance is when your mortgage servicer or your lender allows you to temporarily pay your mortgage at a lower payment or pause the payment. So that just doesn't mean that you don't have to pay it. You are going to have to pay it back eventually. It's just going to be a little bit of a later date. Forbearance doesn't erase the amount that you owe. You still owe it. In some situations, you might be paying it all back in 3 months from now. So if you miss April, May, and June, July comes, you might be making 4 mortgage payments at one time. Or you might have a situation where you're taking 1/12 of the payment and you're adding it for the next 12 months. Every single loan, FHA, VA, conventional, is going to have a different answer. Your servicer is also potentially going to have a different answer for you based on your specific needs. Some people have lost their jobs. Some people have taken pay cuts. Some people, are sick. So there's a lot of different situations. The big thing I say here right now is communication is the word of the coronavirus. Communicating with your lender. They don't know that you have an issue unless you call them. So I encourage everyone to call that 1-800 number on your mortgage statement, just in case you need help or there's something going on that, we can help you with.
Okay. And what if people, like you just said, a lot of people have been laid off from their jobs. A lot of people are having issues. They're worried about, if they've been cut back, not necessarily laid off, but maybe they've been cut back in their hours, or they've been reduced to part-time, or 25% of their hours have been cut back. So if people are having trouble, they're worried about making their mortgage payment come May 1st, what is your advice for people who are in that kind of a situation?
So again, communication is the name of the game here. On the mortgage statement, whether it's M&T or it's anybody else, there's a 1-800 number for you to call the servicing division to talk to them. With M&T, the number is 1-800-724-2224. You can talk to a service rep. They are taking calls. You might have a little bit of a wait time. The other thing that you can do is you can go to mtb.com/hardship relief, and you can fill out a small questionnaire and they will call you back. So everybody's here in it to help facilitate and to, make something work for each individual person that's out there. But we are here to help. I
think the key, and you said this a couple of times, I think the key is communication, understanding that these are the words that everybody does not want to hear. Unprecedented time in our country's history. People are figuring out how to go through this, work through this, and help people get through to the other side. This is not going to last forever. We will get through this and we will survive. That will look differently, but we will survive. And I think you're so right. Communication is key. It's so important to go to your mortgage service provider, and we are here to answer questions. So if anybody has questions regarding any of this, feel free to reach out to me, Susan. We're here to answer your questions. We're here to educate you. Nobody should feel like they have to go and hide under a rock. They should feel like they can reach out to us. We want to be the 411 of information for you and help guide you to wherever you need to go to get your questions. And as Susan said, make sure and reach out to your mortgage service provider. One other thing I should have asked, Susan, is now a good time to refi if people want to refi, and how long does that take?
Sure. We can refinance mortgages. You have the same criteria. If you're still on your job and you're still getting your paycheck and there's a benefit for you, I would love to talk to anybody about refinancing their mortgage. The appraisal is streamlined a little bit, whether, appraisers can come into the houses doing drive-by appraisals or some options in some situations. So if you still have a paycheck, we can help you. And the nice thing about it is it will give you 1 month technically of not making a mortgage payment, although it'll be collected in your payoff and in your next month payment, but it will help maybe alleviate a month of your mortgage payment as well. But yeah, we can still refinance, and we are locking those on 90 days, closing them sooner, but just in case, because we don't know if there's going to be any situation that might prolong the process, we're locking them on 90 days at 60-day pricing, and still facilitating refinances.
Okay, and lastly, Susan, I should ask you, if anybody wants to reach out to you, what is your phone number?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So my cell phone number is 703-915-8224, and my email address is S as in Sam, and then my last name Surkamp, so surkamp@mtb.com.
Okay, well, I want to thank you so much for your time today. We want everybody to stay safe, stay healthy, and know that we will all get through this together. Thanks so much, Susan.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Have a great afternoon.